Hey folks, AJ the CEO here, and in this video, like I promised from our last Q&A, I'm going to give you an updated tour of my YouTube studio, but what I like to call it is a miniature media ministry. So let's go ahead and just go through all the parts, shall we? So I'm going to try and use some of the other cameras we got, and I just put up my other camera here. So let's cut over to this back one here. All right, so here is my main control center, using a custom PC that I built here, which is for my video editing and all this other stuff. And maybe I should minimize all this. So this is my main system. I am running one 4K monitor right here on a swivel arm here. We got two Acer monitors that are exactly the same. And like I said, have my custom video editing PC right now that's running a Ryzen 9 3900X, 64 gigs of memory, a 27 RTX 2070 NVIDIA. I am using a Rode Pod mic that I have here. I also have another one over here that is for when I have guests, or if my daughter decides to sit in on one of the things that I do here. And I guess y'all not seeing that. That is camera number 8. So I have my other Rode mic right there. We also have the Studio Camera 4K Plus right there. Not the Pro, that's going over HDMI in. We have my similar case, somewhat similar system. This is my main streaming system that handles OBS, vMix, whatever that I want to throw at it. This has my old Radeon 7 in here. This is a Ryzen 7 3700X in here. 16 gigs of memory. No, 32 gigs of memory. This is also used to be my render station for when I would render DaVinci Resolve and hand stuff over to this system. And what else we got? Let's lift this up a little bit so y'all can see. We also have the Mac Mini M1 right there that's also connected. It's actually running my presentation software right now. So if we cut over, you're actually seeing the graphics coming from that system. So this is ran, like I said, you call it a YouTube studio, but it's really the way I've designed the system is like it's a media ministry, so that I have all the components. So, it's not really feasible right now for me to have a full 48 channel mixer and digital snakes and all this other stuff, but I can scale it down and be able to go over some similar type of things. Right under here, we have our Web Presenter 4K, and you can't see it. I actually have a 1U rack mount that I screwed into a board, which is then screwed into my desk that holds it right there. Now you can't see it, but right behind this panel right here is my bi-directional converter. Out of this system, I have an Intensity Pro 4K that is running the HDMI out into the converter that then converts it to SDI, because the Web Presenter can only take SDI input. Now let me bump up my tripod here. That way we can have a little bit more height on here. So I also have an Ori KVM over here, so I can flip between multiple monitors. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so I just turned that on, and actually my bidirectional converter was not on. So now we're seeing the output from my streaming software That's what's being fed. That's why you couldn't see anything, because the HDMI was going out, but my converter from HDMI to SDI was not on. That's why you couldn't see anything. And that is a bidirectional converter, and that's what sends the signal here and will allow me to stream in 4K. And let me zoom out here. And this is when I'm doing my Q&As, this is the system that's running vMix. You know, doing all the graphics and everything like that. Now let's look straight up, and we have my overhead camera right there. And actually, we got a couple of lights here. We have the aperture light right there. And we also have another kind of like $20 light that I bought my pastor, and I had an extra one. So that's what I do to get some more light when I have my top downs and I'm doing unboxings and stuff like that. But the main camera up here is the micro cinema camera. That's what it is. And I have that on an Olympus lens. Now, unfortunately, they did not do an update so that the ATEM software can control this, but I had an old Lank controller from my church that I'm able to connect to this, and that gives me control so I can zoom in and out the camera right there, right in front of me when I'm doing some top-down views. So, really straightforward. Now, if we come over here to my sound, we are using the Rodecaster the Rode Podcaster. Rodecaster. I can't remember the name of it. I think, it's the Rodecaster. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, that's what I have my Rode Pod mics connected to, as well as my Rode Wireless Go if I decide to use that. I have an SD micro card in the back, so I can record directly here, which is what I'm doing right now. Even though this is connected to the ATEM, I actually get better sound going natively from the system. So let's pick this up and let me show you some other stuff with this. So the other thing that we have with this is, I just recently did this. This is actually the camcorder, the Sony camcorder that I used to use, but it doesn't charge. So I have it plugged in, so I'm slowly getting ready to replace that. But this is a new addition that I just added today. This is a hum eliminator where I'm coming out of the Rodecaster and then I'm going into the line in, and then the line out is going into the ATEM Mini Extreme. Now this is something that I wanted to test out because a bunch of people on the Facebook group have talked about it, and most of the time when I record my audio, that's why I'm recording here as well as on the ATEM, because I get so much better audio from here. And even though I'm routed through, when I listen to the audio on here, and plus this is recorded multi-track, but when I come onto here, there's a low hum that I've been getting. So that's why I ended up getting that, and that was only like $12. So I wanted to try that out to see how that was working. All right, so we're moving over here. We have some Elgato lights here. Got two of them that I use. We talked about it already. We have the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. I also have my hard drive here. That is a 1 terabyte SanDisk that's connected, that is recording right now. Stream Deck XL, which is connected to this system. This is how I'm able to do all of my stuff that I'm doing when we're doing a live stream. So if I hit my AJaytheCEO button, that's what gives me all my graphics and cues everything into vMix. Or if I do the memes, Josh's memes button here, I press that. So this is how I'm able to control everything from here instead of always having to come over there. All right, now let me minimize this because my lights are getting in the way from the screen. All right, my main camera again that we're back to, and let me switch over to the other camera because I think that'll work better. All right, now my main camera right here is the original Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. I have a Sigma lens on here, which is giving me a nice, good bokeh there behind me. which I am really liking here. So that's really cool. That's what's driving my main shot. I kind of just don't like looking in this direction. I might come and solve that sooner or later, but just because of where my desk is, I kind of don't have enough space to push this back and make it center. I would compromise some space. So I technically, yes, I can pull my desk away and put this tripod to be right behind me. And I might do that. I just didn't like to do that. But now as I think about it, I might do that so I can have a straight on shot and maybe bring the camera down just a little bit. We also have a Field World 4K that I have right here. This is what's acting as my multi-view here, and it's right in line. Originally, when I had a camera right here on this other Elgato mount right here is where I used to have this camera sitting right here in front of me. So I can look and I can see everything that's going on at the same time without having to look away. What else? Oh, and I also have another Stream Deck, my original, right here. This is mainly for the operations of my computer here. Just shortcuts mainly, Zoom call controls and things like that is what I have. And I have the little shell for my microphone interviewer mic set up for my Rode Wireless if I decide to use it. And that's the other thing. I used to have my teleprompter up here, but I actually took it down because I didn't use it as much. So it's actually sitting on the floor over there. I'll break that out if I need to, or if I'm doing video announcements. Would really like to try and put it on the studio camera here. Got to figure that one out. So the extra monitor that I used to have with that is sitting over here. Then I have my nice little case here that holds all of my mics. My other Rode mic is over there. So I have the Wireless Go 2 and the Wireless Go 1. And I also have the Lark 150. Yeah, the Lark 150s here by Hollyland. Very nice system as well too. I'm out of focus. But yeah, these are really good. The main thing, the goal was going to be for the Wireless Go 1, for that to stay inside of this. And then if I would use the other Rode Wireless Go 2 that has the two headsets if I needed. And then this would be on my run and gun camera, so I wouldn't have to keep rotating them around. Originally, I was just reviewing this one, and I had issues with this going into my Rodecaster. So the Wireless Go's have always worked well. So that's why I ended up going to that. All of that was for NAB, but that has since been canceled for this year. So, oh well, we have to work on that. But that's mainly it. So I know that looks like a lot, but again, in this setup, this is a miniature media ministry. I have, the studio camera, one angle, this camera, another camera. So we got a total of 4 cameras, so I can get different angles, top down. You can imagine that like a baptismal camera if you want. At any point in time, I could bring in a PTZ if I still have one, like the BZB gear that we just recently reviewed. If I wanted to add that, most of the time I would have that sitting on top of my computer right now to give me an angle here if I want to with Zoom or something like that. But then I have my separate sound that's bringing in everything. I do not run sound into the ATEM. I do all my sound into my mixer, and then the mixer goes out into my ATEM. So I have everything segmented just like I normally would tell everybody else to do. My streaming system is separate if you were using that, even though, now it's really a hardware because the web presenter is handling the live streaming. The ATEM is handling the switching, even though that could stream. See, the funny thing about this is, since with all the setup, my ATEM can stream to one place, the web presenter can stream to a different place, vMix on this computer can stream to a different place, and then not even to ignore the fact that my ATEM could stream to Vimeo, and Vimeo can rebroadcast to other places. The web presenter can be pointing to Restream and stream to multiple places, and that computer could be going to Caster or somewhere else. So I mean, technically in this setup, just like you would in your ministry, you could stream to maybe 15 to 20 places at the same time if you just know how to hook it all up. So for the most part, I always have this stuff linked down below, and I didn't go over it. I have a green screen that's right here on the floor behind me. I don't use it as much as I used to, and I actually picked up another green screen that can actually hang from the wall. I mainly got it because it was on sale. It was marked down from $160, and I was able to get it on Amazon for $60. So I might put that in my media booth or somewhere if we start getting back to doing announcements, video announcements or something like that. But let me know if you have any other questions. If you go to the bottom of the description of almost any of my videos, I have a link to my studio stuff that I use to make all of the videos that I do here, as well as what I'm currently using. I didn't include my drone that's in the other room, and I didn't include both of the Sony cameras because most of those now, those are mainly my vlogging cameras, so I'm going around using those so I don't have to keep disconnecting and hooking them up to the system. So all of you see here is my studio stuff that is not really meant to move, even though the Pocket Cinema camera is set up in a rig for me to move. I just haven't had a reason to it, but maybe we'll be taking this camera when we go to Ireland or any other places to get some real cool footage. So let me know if you have any other questions. This is the tour of my studio / home media ministry setup, because that's what really this is all about. So if you like this type of content, I appreciate a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. We will see you on the next video. Later.